What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson, and this is actually a true episode of Everybody Hates Black Men, if there ever was one. And so we are going to go through a variety of videos and some news articles to kind of get you up to speed with this situation of the light rail, poking. Um, because I don't know if they're gonna do any censorship on it. So I'm not trying to take out the seriousness of what happened. But we're gonna go, I said what I said in my last live stream, my last couple of live streams, and I stand on that. But we're about to do, give you some news articles, some stuff like that. So give me a second while I queue all that up and make sure y'all share the video and do all that good stuff. For real, for real. So, let y'all get in here. Y'all getting two for one today. I actually do got a future video to deal with on the future of America and stuff like that. So I haven't forgotten about you. Appreciate that Cash App you gave me. And if y'all picking up what I'm putting down, make sure y'all support in the Cash App, all that good stuff. And I feel compelled to talk about this, because I'm in Raleigh, so I'm not in Charlotte. Charlotte is literally 2.5 hours, 3 hours of traffic for me. I could be in Charlotte. I have actually been on Charlotte's light rail system. It's small, but it's useful. It's really weird because you can actually drive on streets and the light rail is parallel to it, so it's really, really weird. So I'm gonna go through like some videos, and we're gonna share this as well as some news articles. And I may break this up, but because I've been hearing this on NPR too, where the news, because the House Republicans are trying to sponsor a bill to crazy people can't get out if they're crazy for violent. So clearly people are using this as a political weapon, and there's a lot of like stuff out here. um Mayor. So we're gonna go through a couple of news articles, then we're gonna go through some videos while I gather that. And some of the comments are crazy. I see what SWP is talking about, man. Like Jesus, like y'all be talking reckless. Like for real, for real. It's their culture. What's crazy? The same people that'll say that crime is a part of black culture are the same people, which is what they're referring to with the music, are the same people that listen to hip hop music. So understand, you actively support and fund, quote unquote, the very part of the culture that you say is bad. And it's just funny when people get emotional and they start really saying how they really feel for real. It's funny because, and I love it. I love the honesty. I love an honest racist because it helps me when it comes to African Americans that's got some sense. It helps people stop acting like, stuff is sweet out here. It helps, shout out to SWP and his stuff talking about, having your I forget what how Professor Black Truth chooses it. Power tools, and I'm not like somebody that's really a fan of guns like that either. But the reality is, this is actually a perfect example of black male hysteria. And like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, I think that's a tragic situation. I'm not sitting here about to defend what he did, but what I will say is there is an absolute, and it's unfortunate what happened to her, because going out with your neck is bad. But you got people that dare. Let's be very clear here, and I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound bad. None of y'all care about this girl. All of y'all that's caping for her, all of y'all that are I heard reports, and I don't know if this is true. There was a white dude that did that GoFundMe in order to. There's people that they want to stoke a race war, and let's keep it real. Let me tell you how pussy a lot of you white boys are, and I'm gonna just say this straight up. You all want to stoke a race war because, quite frankly, you all want the police force and the military to basically conduct an extinction operation on your behalf. Most of you white boys ain't about it like that. Most of you white boys are not trying to adjudicate a race war on your own, even with your numbers. Most of y'all want the law and the military to do it for you. Let's be very clear on who you are and what y'all are about. But it wasn't just white boys I saw. I dealt with that last stream. Now I'm going to go over a couple of videos, and it was even some women. Some women that aren't white. And the funny thing about it is some of these women are some of the very women that are beating up, putting death threats and beating up that woman, that white woman that did made the ICE call on Hyundai. At the end of the day, whatever her motivations were, good or bad, at the end of the day, their papers were either correct or they weren't. I've been overseas for work a few times. I've been over the other side of the planet for work. And at the end of the day, your stuff is right. You're supposed to have somebody that their job, like Hyundai is a big enough company. They're supposed to have a whole team where their job is to make sure all of the people that are conducting business overseas are doing what they're supposed to do. You got people that facilitate that. You got people that they are the handlers. They are the handlers. So for you to sit here for your people, that many of your people to lose their to not have their papers right, and y'all to let them be there, you're supposed to ship them out. You're supposed to make them leave. And actually, breaking news too on that front, they canceled that chartered flight. For 300 people for they were supposed to go. They canceled that flight. So I don't know if it's going to be back on, but right now it's not back on. It's not on. And I heard that like listening to NPR while I was, running errands and stuff. Actually got my lights fogged out, got that fixed. Shout out to the brother that did that, for $45. Them things look good, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm about to actually put my brother on him, and then had to get a bulb change. So shout out to them brothers. I ain't even gonna say what they doing it out of because I ain't trying to get them in trouble. Oh, he's saying WhatsApp. I'm like, what's up? Yeah, so we about to go through it. And so yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. A lot of these people are really showing how they get down. Even some black women, those black women talk about, oh yeah, y'all on the chopping block. Black men are always on the chopping block. That's nothing new. What are you talking about? That's nothing new, us being on the chopping block. But a lot of y'all are starting to show y'all true colors, and then y'all just gonna say y'all were in the moment. No, you weren't. A lot of black women see themselves as like a whole different racial group. So let me get this stuff in here. Yeah, but y'all was giving this white woman this. Y'all could call her a big back or whatever. Y'all giving her death threats. Y'all don't care. Y'all do not care. You all do not care. But at the same time, um, but at the same time, now all of a sudden this is a blind hair, blue eyed, attractive, white female, and it's unfortunate. It really is. It really is. But it's just like it's unfortunate when kids get aired out in a high school, which happened. Actually, the local schools where I'm at, Cary High School, and a couple other schools in the area, they actually had a walkout because apparently a school shooting in Minnesota. You don't see these people making that a big deal because it's a blonde hair, blue eyed white woman that y'all want to fool up. Which I'm like, yo, why was she? Again, I'm not blaming the victim, but shoot, if y'all like her that much, I'm trying to figure out why she didn't have a boyfriend or something. Maybe she want to make her money on her own. But at the end of the, and then people are trying to say, with Daniel Penny, because now you got JD Vance talking, which I'm paying attention to what JD Vance is saying, and trust me, that's going to be put in the archive. Make no mistake. Trump's it's an animal. These again, Trump wants to change the conversation from the Epstein files that they're looking, so black male hysteria, if this is where we got to go, this is what we got to do. And so I love it because all it does is remind people, and these are not all Republicans, by the way. So a lot of these people are people that vote Democrat. So remember that. So let's jump right up in here. Remember that. Remember that these are not like these people that I'm seeing are not necessarily MAGA people. So remember that. They all can't stand you. All right. I was just in Charlotte like maybe a month ago. Suspect in Charlotte train stabbing that killed, and I'm sure they'll mention it in the Panthers game as well. Watch. Suspect in the Charlotte train stabbing that killed a Ukrainian refugee is charged with a federal crime. Here's what we know.
After horrific murder on a train. Over the weekend, the local metro authority released surveillance video showing the murder of Ukrainian refugee Irina Irutska. Police say she was riding on a train in Charlotte last month when the suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., pulled out.
Whoa, we can't do that. We can't show that. We can't show that. Oh no, we can't show that. That's gonna get this video taken off. But what I will say is, what you call it, shout out to Swift. But that's why I was saying we don't do the denial thing. This clearly happened, and this is very egregious. Like, all right, you said you can hear, so y'all can hear. Press 1 if y'all can hear. Okay, I see y'all can hear. Let's be very clear. This is bad. I said it in my last video, and I'm gonna say it here. I don't care how crazy he is. You can't co-sign this. As somebody that I respect my peace, I respect my safety. I mean, black. You keep saying black fatigue as if they really tolerated black people. I mean, people have it like I hate the term black fatigue. The truth is, people got fatigue for everybody. People got white fatigue with this Hyundai situation, talking about beating this chick up. People got Hispanic fatigue, which is why they letting everybody's mad at everything because the economy is messed up. Now, stuff like this will bubble to the surface anyway, but because you know how it is when it comes to the white woman, these people just lose their mind because it's a precursor for them to be violent. Because in their mind, we get all that, but I can't justify that. Like whether he's it's somebody I've dealt with my aunts, I cannot justify stuff like this, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to justify this with mental illness. Just like you shouldn't justify kids shooting schools with being disturbed. I can't, so I'm not. So, and yes, the death penalty, even though they haven't adjudicated the death penalty in 20 years, so they haven't killed anybody in 20 years in North Carolina, the death penalty is definitely valid in North Carolina. And trust and believe, good and well, they're not going to use this. And make sure y'all share this video, get people in here. They're not gonna care about his mental state. They're not gonna care. They're not gonna care about his mental state. I don't see like a lawyer trying to get on his defense because number one, this is on tape. So he can't say he didn't do it. You can't say what crazy is. I mean, if you look at him, he's sitting very normally, and then out of nowhere he do this. You can't. What are you talking about? Too much SWP, Ed? What are you talking? Dude, y'all nuts trying to equate military conquest with stabbing. You can't equate that, but we can. There's things you can equate. So I don't, you can definitely equate. Like, dude, stop it. Anyway, because y'all low key off topic. But anyway, the suspect but clearly, as you can see, they're showing the video, which is crazy. I believe it's shouting out information I get stuff from. People should do more of that. The suspect in the grisly slaying of a young woman on Charlotte light rail train now faces federal charges in a case that has turned into a political lightning rod in the country where she had come to seek safety. Another thing too is Republicans trying to use this as Democrats are soft on crime. So people are weaponizing this for their own ends, which kind of low key shows you they don't really give a fuck about this shit. Like, let's just be very clear. Miss Zaratska fled Ukraine in 2022 with her mother, sister, and brother to escape. So they must have been other mother, sister, or brother must be young. War with Russia. Quickly embraced her new life in the United States. But one night on swinging moments after she texted her boyfriend, so she'd have a boyfriend. She did have a boyfriend, to say she would be home soon. A man sitting behind her stabbed her 3 times in the throat in a unprovoked attack. The suspect, 34 year old DeCarlos Brown, had a long rap sheet and now faces the charge of first degree murder and a federal charge of committing an act causing death on a transportation system. Yeah. And I'm sure somebody's going to try to say this needs to be a hate crime because this would only happen because she's a white woman. I'm sure they'll try to say that. The federal charges come with the possibility of the death penalty, a punishment. President said he supported in this case. Prosecutors were still investigating the case. Russ Ferguson, U.S. Attorney for Western District, North Carolina, Tuesday. Yeah, because this is political. So yeah, he's out of here, and I'm sure that they'll speed the trial up because they're gonna want because it looks like they're gonna run the soft on crime racial play on the Democrats, and honestly, and when you run that play, then the Democrats have to escalate, doing more stuff to African Americans, so it becomes that's kind of cascading effect. This is how you get the crime bill that we got in the 90s. Democratic and Republican leaders have traded barbs on who is to blame. The debate simmers against the backdrop of Trump administration's vow to fight crime by deploying federal troops in predominantly Democratic cities. On Wednesday morning, members of North Carolina GOP and the 12th congressional district Republicans spoke at a light rail station to criticize what they call soft on crime politics of Democratic-led city. Okay, number one, that's bullshit because Pat McQuarrie was the governor, Pat McQuarrie like 10 years ago was the mayor. The infamous bathroom, situation. Well, I don't know why it's infamous because I don't believe that if you're a T person, you should go in the bathroom that that you were born with, the sex you were born with. That comes from Charlotte. So I mean, I don't know. Now, yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, they do got like ammunition in Charlotte because they got some city council people that's like being investigated for charges, like some crazy charges, like women, black women. So they got some ammo there. So, but this is pretty much fighting the midterm. That's what this is. I mean, think about it. All 12 members of Congress went to a light rail in Charlotte. Please get out of here with that. Remember, Ariana survived in Ukraine in a bomb shelter. Kyle Kirby chair, Mecklenburg County Republican Party. And see, this is kind of crazy because Trump is not like Trump is pro Ukraine in the Ukraine war. Trump has given some money. He's selling weapons to Ukraine, but Trump isn't supporting you. It's been clearly a backdrop on the support. And look, I tell the truth, no matter, who I voted for, this is the truth. It's clearly a drop down on the support for Ukraine. So now, and the Republicans have supported as far as the drop down. So now all of a sudden we're gonna, use Ukraine. I'm be curious to see what Zelensky's gonna do as far as leveraging this, because if they put their foot too deep into this, they're gonna have to showcase that, because it'd be like, oh, you support her here, but you don't support what all these other Ukrainians are going for and dying for, which is why she had to flee. You stand with Russia, but you're giving Russia all its room, and you're looking stupid. Because remember, Trump just met Putin in Alaska. So this can actually twist him up in a couple of knots if he's not careful. But in a road to Ukraine, she made her way to country to Charlotte, seeking refuge and promise. She was given the edge of a knife. All right. Brown had diagnosed with schizophrenia. Okay, so it's known that he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and suffered hallucinations and paranoia. His sister Tracy Brown said said so. They're putting that in the article. She said her brother told multiple times the government implanted him with a chip. So he's bad. He's bad shit. I knew he was battling something. I wanted to know what it was. She said, yeah, he's bad shit. Like seriously, like, yes, my aunt has schizophrenia. And my aunt is in a place, by the way, in a retirement home. Brown was sometimes aggressive and attacked his sister in 2022. My aunt was never violent though. Tracy Brown told CNN, though her brother was arrested that night, she decided to drop the charges out of concern of other mental health issues. But it wasn't Brown's only run-in with the law. He had several convictions on his record, including armed robbery, felony larceny. Ooh, it's not gonna be good. Yeah, this is not our culture. This dude's crazy. And again, people are going to use it as a racial issue because they know how Americans are, and they're going to take advantage of that for political ends. But let's not act like that's not what it is. You know, Brown spent more than 5 years behind bars for robbery with a dangerous weapon, say records show, after he was released in 2020. So right at the pandemic, he didn't seem like himself and struggled to hold conversations. Jobs, his sister told CNN. Their mother had tried to get him placed in a long-term facility. Tracy Brown told CNN, but her attempts failed because she wasn't his guardian. Yeah, my mom was my aunt's guardian. Tracy Brown, which that I'm not gonna say that would have helped like that anyway. And see, that's what they're trying to pass a law to kind of change. That's where, Tracy Brown said that she talked to her brother after arrest and asked him why he attacked the woman on the train because she was reading my mind. He told her. That's crazy. His January release stokes controversy. Earlier this year, Brown was charged with the misuse of a 911, a Class 1 misdemeanor, after he allegedly asked officers to investigate a man-made material that controlled when he ate, walked, and talked. Court documents state, officer told Brown the issue was a medical issue and there was nothing more they could do. Brown became upset and called 911. The records state, a condition of his release was written, promised to appear for the next hearing, according to court records. The White House said his release left him free to slaughter an innocent woman just months later. Okay, here's the problem. The problem is the last time he was released had nothing to do with violence. So what are we really talking about? So even if you pass a law saying that if you're in for violence, you can't. Number one, you unless y'all are, so y'all are gonna have. So let me get this straight. Y'all gonna fund mental institutions that's got nothing but violent criminals in there. Like, people are not going to work in facilities like that. So you guys send them to jail. But then if you send them to jail and you get out of that, then you run into just keeping people in places just to keep them in. You can't just unless it's a mental facility, you can't just keep them in prison because you say they're not mentally well. That's not how that works. That's what mental facilities are. And yes, we all know white men go to those facilities when they're not mentally well, no matter what they do. And I want you to pay attention how angry everybody is getting when, no matter how egregious white dudes do shit, they'll just immediately go to, he's crazy, he's troubled, he's this, he's that. Just remember that. CNN has reached out to Brown's public defender, the Mecklenburg District Attorney Office, and magistrate judge who ordered his release and comment. Even though Charlotte's mid-year stats show a 25% decrease in crime compared to the same last year, Trump said North Carolina doesn't need reform. Trump is just, it's very obvious when it comes to that. Trump is just throwing that out there on everybody. It's very obvious that's what he's doing. So my thing that I would ask is produce a list of states and cities that need reform. Do that now. Don't wait until stuff come up. And then again, he's trying to get off of that Epstein crap. And that's on him because Trump is the one that gaslit, MAGA people when it comes to that. I don't know how, being president, when he was president the first time, did he not see what's in there to see if he was in there or not? That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I've been on that train once, but I don't really do trains. I didn't do them when I was in Chicago. I'm not a train person. I'm just not. Well, I'll do Amtrak, but I'm not doing public. I don't do public transportation anyway. I'll get Uber. I don't care about saving money. We actually have fareless public transportation where I'm at, in a very ride area. So I don't gotta pay nothing. I'm not doing that. Trey, we're not Trey. I don't know what you're saying, but we're not doing stuff as fake. I mean, I get it. We're not. What we don't do is denial. That's what we don't do. I don't come in here and we do denial. We don't do that. So it's all fake news. It's not real because how these people are about to react is very real. Charlotte's mayor Val Lyles blamed the tragic failure by the courts and magistrates. So magistrates or people in the mental issue that can control whether you can come out or not. My mom used to always had to go to the magistrate in order to get my aunt committed when my aunt would not cooperate. Now that's not violent, but she just wouldn't cooperate by taking her medication. Boy, a lot of stuff brings very close to home. Call for improved mental health care to prevent tragedies involving those in a crisis. We need bipartisan solution to address repeat offenders. And by the way, it doesn't help that a lot of these cities are led by women too. That really doesn't help either. By the way, because a lot of them they're seen as soft targets. We need a bipartisan solution to address repeat offenders who do not face consequences for their actions, those who cannot get treatment for their mental illness and allowed to be on the streets. And let's be clear, it is bipartisan. I want to be very clear. They allow crazy people. I'm not saying all homeless people are crazy, but they allow crazy people to be out here. This is the fault of the Democrats and the Republicans. This is both of their fault. They both defunded mental health institutions. SWP is absolutely correct. This is their fault. You can look, understand, you can blame it on the black guy all you want, and that's fine individually. But overall, they're approaching this the same way, in a slightly different way they approach the shootings. At the end of the day, they're not going to fix it. They're going to use this situation for people going to use it for clout, views. I already see Lucas doing that. I'm going to play that video in a little bit. People are going to use it for whatever. People are going to use it to push their own racial agenda, to gin people out. Nobody cares about actually solving this problem. Nobody. Because I noticed nobody is even talking about the healthcare aspect. Everybody is just talking about, oh, you see black men deal with white women because they know how people react. She announced increased security and law enforcement presence SARS at public transit. That doesn't mean anything with what happened on the actual train. So again, that doesn't solve the problem. But Republicans accuse Lyles and criminal justice of being weak on crime, which means weak on blacks. They said a man with Brown's record shouldn't have been on the streets, but white people are on the streets all the time. Shout out to Professor Black Truth's crime report. White people only know the catch and release system. What are we talking about? The U.S. Department, a lot of your school shooters have had run-ins with the law. The U.S. Department of Transportation on Wednesday opened an investigation into light rail transit system in Charlotte to determine whether they all take necessary to keep right. Please. Charlotte's rail system is probably more safer than the New York rail system, than the Chicago rail system. So stop it. This a lot of this is just posturing. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy also criticized the mayor's stated gratitude to those who chose not to share the gruesome video footage of killing. Yeah, that's a worthy critique. I don't know why why would you express gratitude for not sharing a video? Why would you? It happened. That's stupid. And she is black, I believe. But I don't agree with that. Bad choice. Yeah, that's a legit critique. Stephen Miller, Charlotte's mayor doesn't want the media to show you the ugly truth. Why? Because it is one video though. So yeah, I still don't agree with her saying that, but what are you talking about? Like, again, it's like, what are you talking? Like, it's just this old. Like, are you serious? So we just act like only black people do crime. This is just amazing. Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff of Policy, posted about the stabbing on social media and blasted major media organizations for what he described as a lack of coverage. They're covering it. They are covering it, but they're not like over covering it. What do you expect? Would you expect this to be on 20? This isn't a 9/11 event. This isn't a night. What are we talking about? I can't pull money today from the transit system. Duffy said investigating possibly cutting federal funding in Charlotte's light. I can't pull money today from their transit system. Duffy told Shahani on Monday. So what? You're going to affect all the other white people that actually use that transit system. So you're going to punish the entire city for one white woman. Like, are you serious? We start that investigation tomorrow. I guarantee your viewers that, yeah, all this stuff is posturing. I mean, this is all posturing. The refugee had a, oh God. I mean, look, look, man, we get it. She seems like a nice person. I don't need to read all that. You know, any white, like, it's always, if a white man is a perpetrator, they were troubled. You know, we get the media coverage. All white women are angels. You know, all white women are angels, except for the ones that deal with black men. You know, they have sex with black men. They're troubled. We get all that. I don't even need to read that. Victim's family demands change, as this could have been anyone. Was a kind, hardworking young woman, built a new life in Charlotte, working full time at a pizza. Well, did I tell you? I thought she was working like a Domino's. Attending community college to improve her English. Her family sent a statement. We are heartbroken beyond words. Irina came here to find peace and safety. Instead, her life was stolen from her in the most horrific way. Yeah, it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. No family should have had to go through this. But a lot of families go through this. A lot of families go through this when white boys decide they want to air out schools. But, you know, grieving family is now demanding change, citing lack of visible or effective security. So but they caught what he did on camera. So what security are we talking about? Like, this isn't the airport. This is a light rail system. I get their man. I get they're talking out of, emotion. Full investigation. Yeah, all this stuff is just political posturing. Just over. It's political posturing. That's all that is. We're doing this. This is a white woman. Da, 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 da. I mean, come on, man. It's obvious that's what it is. It's obvious that's what it is. And I mean, I'm not like discounting like what happened or anything like that at all. But I mean, let's stop playing. Ari. Appreciate she hate me for the $5. Appreciate she hate me for the $5. Appreciate Nate for the $5. He said Reagan turned out the institutions and Democrats pushed for mass incarceration and mental health problems. Yep, I agree with that, Trail. Because they defunded the mental health institutions and wanted to lock everybody up. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that needs to be dealt with. But they're not going to deal with it. It's very clear they're just using this for political posturing. Let me see. Now I don't agree with this from Lucas. Like Lucas' posture, but this is a perfect example of people using this as like a political lightning rod. And I'm gonna go through comments as well. He said 1 month ago, a white man cut a 19-year-old girl into pieces. A Latino just ended it. Yeah, they don't care, and it's obvious, And it's like, and I'm not justifying one thing to justify another, but it's like, yo, it's very obvious, y'all. Like, it's like, come on now. I'm gonna get to this chick in a minute, but we'll play her thing first.
Tagged on a train and nobody helped. A girl was tagged on a train and nobody helped, and there was a freaking woman on her side and nobody helped. The fuck is wrong with this society?
Okay, so first of all, the funny thing is in the comments there is what she said is actually not true. Um, the immediate people around, number one, it happened very fast, as you can see with the video. So nobody would have, like, the way the dude was, and then when he did what he did, he wasn't talking. He didn't give no indication to act. He was just acting like he was asleep, and then went from that to that. You saw the video, like the initial part. So nobody could have stopped that quickly. That's number one. Number two, there were people on that car that helped. It wasn't just the immediate people around her. And by the way, there were black people that actually, it was 2 black people and 1 white woman that actually helped her. So that's not true. And they actually, I'll show in the notes, but they actually acknowledge that. It's also very clear that she's Hispanic. So obviously Hispanics are going to racist because that's what they do. And you know, they trying to take the heat off they ass. So we already know. What's up, Alonzo? Make sure y'all check out Alonzo's channel if you want business news as well as insurance stuff. Shout out to Alonzo. Oh, the comment section is crazy, boy. The comment section is crazy. I see what SWP is talking about, but that's why I don't typically deal with white news like that. I read the comment section, Legion of Men posting, it enraged me how they blanking it. Yeah, because that's what they want to believe. And what make it so funny, I mean, again, they can't admit that really it's the sexual. It's for them. It's little dick energy. That's why they get so. That's what that is. So of course they're gonna do that. Because what else are they gonna do? But anyway, this is what Lucas said. This is retarded. I wouldn't have brought this up if this didn't. He said just. Okay, so So Jesse, since you want to come in here and troll, you gonna have to be out of here. Appreciate Kareem with the $5 super sticker. Yeah, you gonna have to yeah, because clearly you're a troll, so you gonna have to get out of here. You know, I gave you an opportunity to sound like you got some sense, and you want to just talk crap. I'm not gonna let you derail this conversation. First of all, you're listening to this conversation. And you hear what I'm talking about, but you want to be stupid. So yeah, only grown people get to speak. You can disagree, but if you're gonna be coming in here trolling, we don't do that. So if y'all got a legit disagreement, you do. But again, appreciate Kareem. Let me see if I can pull any of my stuff for StreamYard. Okay, so StreamYard. All right, the good news, StreamYard ain't blocked. StreamYard. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, I can't do. Yeah, man, you get the paid version, but they are adding stuff, so I give them credit. But anyway, let's go to Lucas. I don't agree with Lucas' posture on this, and I don't agree with a lot of stuff Lucas say. But this is a perfect example of using this as a way of trying to clout.
Black person involved that they can blame. Damn. That's when they care about white people. It's a really sick mindset. Once again, lineage of evil. One thing I will say, I talked to 99.9% of black people about this story, about what transpired. And it's horrible. I think we all agree on that. And they wanted me to give a message. And on behalf of 99.9% of black people, I'm here to talk to the white ignorants out there and let y'all know we are deeply uncaring.
See, this is irresponsible what he's doing. What he is doing is rage baiting, FYI. And this is not a scenario you really need to be rage baiting on.
That is correct. We don't care, bruh. I'm sorry. We don't give not an ounce of caring about what happened to this girl on the train. And let me tell you why, okay? So I know some of y'all are spitting out the raisins in your potato salad. Let me tell you why. Because I'm old enough to remember a man named Jordan.
Remember, this is the same dude that used to be on the conservative side. Keep that in mind. Yeah, like just remember that. Remember that. This is the same dude, like yeah.
Neely, okay, who was on the train and who was wrongfully taken from this planet. And then he was not only seen as not guilty, but he goes on in an interview to say that he would do it again. On top of that, He got a meeting with the president and the vice president. That's correct. His only accomplishment for meeting the president of the United States was that he took the life of a black man, an innocent black man on the train. Damn. In this country, that was celebrated. That was approved, okay? That was applauded by this country. I just wanted to let you know. I haven't come across not one black victim that this country has seen as a black victim. How about for, shits and giggles, we go the conspiratorial route, just as you guys did with Ahmaud Arbery. Remember, he had a hammer in his back pocket. Oh, he was casing the joint, trying to rob places. How about we do this with this Iranian, right? This blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl, okay? How about we say, hey, we don't know what happened before the video, okay? Maybe he could have been justified, all right, in what he did to her. We don't know. Maybe he knew her. Maybe she cheated on him. Hey, maybe he...
This is very irresponsible, in my opinion. But, hey, just give you an example. I'm just on what comes through. I don't got, necessarily an agenda to give you all on this. But, yeah. And then he's kind of using black people's name. This is straight up rage bait.
No, we don't know. Maybe she called him the N-word before getting on the train. We don't know. Do you like that? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel happy inside when someone tries to justify a heinous action? Huh? Because that's what we've been dealing with. We can go George Floyd. I know y'all love bring up George Floyd. Y'all still bring up George Floyd. And even to this day, you're still saying that George Floyd, hey, it was fentanyl, and that Derek Chauvin was innocent. How about that? How about we say, you know what? She didn't actually perish from any puncture wounds. She perished from fentanyl. We have to wait until they do the drug test. That's what we have to do. We have to wait until they do the drug test, all right, before we can actually say, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was, the puncture wounds that caused her to no longer be with us. How would you like that? Does that sound good? Furthermore, let's go on with the immigration. She was actually a Ukrainian refugee. She was an immigrant. And from my understanding, based off of what I've been looking around, y'all don't take too kindly to immigrants right now, right? Don't y'all want the immigrants out of the country? Isn't that what y'all want? So I would think, based off of your logic, he should deserve an award.
We know if they're white, that doesn't count. We know that.
Right? He should get some type of accolade. He should maybe go to the White House. Maybe Trump will have this black man at the White House and he'll take pictures with him and the VP, okay, with Vance. How about that? Would y'all like that? I would like that. I think that would be a very strong message out there for all you ignorants out there. So I'm just coming up with cases because the irony of all.
That's crazy, but I mean, he's essentially rage baiting. That's what he's doing. And so that's what's out there. That's not the only video I'm going to play. Give me a second. Oh, Jesus. I hate how... This one that I'm about to share you is pretty much when I knew I was going to do a video. Y'all gonna love this one.
It is your time to shine now. It is your time to shine now. Old black men, it is your time to shine now. It is your time to shine now. Y'all are now on the chopping block. If you think you was walking on eggshells then, oh sweetie, it's about to be a different ball game now. If I was you, I would get the fuck off the internet and get my shit together immediately. The fact that this story got national coverage like that, especially from the White House, and this racist bigot is holding up a sign next to a little pretty fragile YT woman with a scary black man to the right. Oh baby, they about to give y'all hell out here. Y'all black conservatives, that shit is gonna go out the window. It's gonna go out the window. No one cares who you voted for. They are specifically targeting you. They are specifically targeting black and brown people, especially after this story. And I'm gonna tell you how I know it's serious. This is an immigrant woman. She's not even American. Remember,
They've never cared about that. This is a white woman. She's white first. That and blonde hair, blue eyed as well, and as pale as she was. Oh, that's never mattered.
Americans didn't care about immigrants. They told everybody to take their
That is not true.
ass back to where they belong, and all of a sudden, a scary black man and unalive this YT woman. And it's a big, huge fucking deal. Because it's always a big, huge fucking deal when something happens to them. But when something happens to us, they sleep it under the rug. Which is why sundown towns still exist in America. Because no one gives a fuck about black lives. Oh no, we are the afterthought. But you know why? Don't nobody give a fuck about our lives? Because we got coon-ass ninjas up here. Coon-ass ninjas up here.
That's why. So if we didn't have any coons, then people would care about black. Like that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. And this is just her way. Like, see, she's trying to guilt bait dudes. And yeah, man, you know, we have sundown towns. Like, are you serious? First of all, what she need to really worry about is white men are notorious for doing soft targets. So women are soft targets, children are soft targets, older black people are soft targets. They usually do everything but deal with the men unless they can ambush men, unless it's the police that can do something, unless it's the military. Now, Hood-servative had to say so. She was talking about Hood-servative. I'm not saying you coon Hood-servative, but you know, they had to say something.
Telling black folks, i.e. Charleston White, it ain't the white folks' fault. Oh no, it ain't the white folks' fault. Y'all need to stop playing victim. Stop playing the blame game. Ha 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 ha.
This wasn't as bad as I initially thought. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, everybody taking their piece, man. Here's what Trump said. Donald Trump, the animal who so violently killed the beautiful young lady from Ukraine who came to America searching for peace and safety, should be given a quick and there's no doubt trial. Well, I mean, you know, ain't a trial if you talk about awarded the death penalty. There can be no other option. President Donald J. Trump. You got that. You got J.D. Vance. Hold on. These are some of the stuff that's out here. You got J.D. Vance. Daniel Penny prevented this from happening on an NYC subway. Instead of thanking him, many hated him for it. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. I'm going to make a note with that when it comes to Vance. I like to think you can do images now. Oh, this is what they love too. Shout out to the Discord. A lot of this is from my Discord. If y'all interested in doing my Discord, make sure you email me at edwardanderson300k. This is some white dude talking about, so it comes out that Ukrainian girl that was murdered on subway was a supporter of BLM, Black Lives Matter. Do you think it mattered to the insane, you see it, that killed her? Political propaganda kills just as much as crazy it influences. She didn't deserve it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you really think they really care about her? They're using her as a symbol to push the BS they already want to do. They just needed somebody they can rally around. It's because, again, there's been a whole bunch of stuff that's happened and they never have this kind of energy. This is code for, see white women, you see how dangerous they are. Now, if they found out her boy, what if they found out her boyfriend was black? They would lose it. He said Tarina she did a video low key defending the subway set and blank. Yeah, yeah, I'm not defending that. Like, I'm not defending that at all. Nobody, I mean, we all live in this world. We all don't like, I'm sorry. I'm not about to do, oh, there's some white supremacy. I can call that out. Like, I can call out what they're pushing, but at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, he did it. I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously, you want to enter whatever evidence to know what all happened. But if he just out of nowhere stabbed somebody, I'm not about to get in the way of no death penalty. I'm not about to say nothing with that. Well, he was ill. And when white people are ill, yeah. But we're talking about this case. We'll deal with that when they try to let them off. Because most of the time, they're killing other white people when they let them off too. He said, but why black women silent aborted? Yeah, it is what it is. He said, Deronimer with the $10. I hope these unfortunate young gentlemen aren't the same ones that when a Caucasian chick murked the African brother and basically got off. We're saying job with it. Yeah, because we know racism drives a lot of this. I mean, it's not even like it's obvious. He said she's an immigrant. Does she have papers? What white makes her so upset? I'm confused. Well, she's white. She doesn't need papers if she's white. You know that. I don't even know why we're acting like that's not a thing. It was the same thing with the South Africans. You know that doesn't matter. It's the other immigrants that act like they don't understand that. They're the ones that act like they don't understand that. All right, let me hold on one second. Yeah, I mean, the video is out there. The video is not like a one and done kind of thing. Um, but yeah, because you got because Charlotte, you can carry in Charlotte, but ultimately, I mean, again, like people keep saying, what? So do you expect people to pack up the dude right there on the bus? And this, and even with the penny thing, like it's crazy. Again, like that's not gonna solve the problem because understand, y'all say that as if nobody else does crime but black men. That's the argument that people keep making. So I mean, it's some of this stuff is. Let me see. Yeah, I've said I'm not. Mental health is not going to be something. Unfortunately, you're not going to use mental health as we can't, like, honestly, certain crimes we can't just let go because you're mentally ill. And in order to really do that, y'all gonna have to start putting facilities out there to keep people locked in for real. All right, so let's Because see, these are not vetted videos. So it's like I'm kind of risking it, you know. Yeah. Stop screen sharing. Share screen. Tablet. All right. Yeah, but dude, y'all keep saying that, but it's very well known that when they're saying immigrants, they're never talking about white immigrants. I don't know why y'all acting surprised about that.
That white, you can hear in the video, I got that white girl good. You can hear in the video, I got that white girl good.
Yeah, and stuff like that's gonna come out in the trial, which means you can't say he's crazy and then
I got that white girl good. You can hear in the video. Why did I say it like Dr. Umar for you obtuse rubber goose dickheads? It's because it was fucking racially motivated. That poor woman.
Wow. So this dude is basically, you know, this is funny. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, that's their mind, and a lot of them fools, again, I mean, they can believe that if they want to, but again, man versus bear was their women, so you know, we all know that's not true.
Came to America seeking fucking refuge and got stabbed in the neck by a fucking psychopath. Who, I don't care if mental health is a fucking crisis in this country.
And notice this fool got 98,000 views. 98,000 views on this.
You killed somebody. You can see she got jabbed like 3 times right here. She looks, fuck, was he out? How many times?
And this is where stuff like this gets like, because what he don't understand, this is the funny thing about this. If somebody wants to get vigilante justice, he looks like a dude that they would do that with. He don't even understand that. But everything don't need to be on YouTube. And yeah, he was arrested over 10 times because of issues. Yeah, when you're mentally ill, that stuff happens. I don't know. See, you got a lot of people that don't know nothing about that.
I thought today I will be calmer about that video that we all watched. I watched the whole video now, and I'm even more pissed. I'm even more pissed on that judge, that woman with the beard, whatever the fuck was that. She's not even a lawyer. She's not even a lawyer. And she has a treatment center.
That's crazy, Spirit. That's crazy. Yeah, they act like, yeah, man, I agree with you. Like, they don't.
On that Charlotte light rail train, the moment of realization.
Yeah, I can't, like, people are playing, like, this is crazy that they're letting, like, so now TikTok is letting a video like this be played. I don't understand that. All this stuff y'all censor, like, I can't play that because they will go and clean that up.
National news mentioned that the man had severe mental health battling experiences, that he had been involuntarily committed by his mother not too long ago, and that his mom said that he had not been right or not been the same since he did a 5-year bid in prison. And what's also not being mentioned is that a black person tried to help save Erna. Elon Musk and his musketeers keep on manipulating the narrative around her.
I mean, at the end of the day, she died, he did it. You know, it's kind of, yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that they're pushing for this man to receive the penalty, I hope that he gets it times 10, because this by far has to be one of the most disturbing, unsettling, saddest videos I've ever watched.
Now, so my thing is, y'all see, this is where it becomes a bullshit. So because y'all see, because y'all saw it on video, it's disturbing. But if y'all don't see it on a video, it ain't that bad. Because there's people that get chopped up into pieces, crazy stuff. I guess because it's not on video, y'all don't care. That's like the consistent thing. Oh my God, it's on video. So apparently this is like an enhanced crime because it's on video. That's what's crazy to me.
Couldn't even watch it more than once. To think that you were just getting off of work from a regular shift, innocent, didn't do anything, didn't bother anybody. Sit down on the bus thinking that you're on your way home and not even knowing that 5 minutes later your life was going to end. Like watching this video, I felt.
And what kills me is all these people, let's say you give them the death penalty. Okay, if you don't change the mental health system and how they decided to do it by defunding it, this is what happens when you defund stuff. That's not gonna solve the problem. Charlotte is a relatively safe city. Charlotte is not known for like being like crazy, but stuff can happen. And so oh, that's what Ray said. Ray said, you know.
I felt like I knew this girl.
People keep trying to make a GoFundMe for the man who took the life of the 23-year-old woman on the bus for no reason, claiming that he is also a victim. They claim he deserves legal defense because it's not all his fault, because he was never given the help that he needs. Mind you, Brown is a 14-time offender with schizophrenia who was just arrested earlier in the year because he called police saying that he has something in his body controlling him, making him do bad things. Even though the judge failed in this situation, why in the world will we give him money so he can win?
Look, Madeline said if it was a white man ending a black woman's life, more people would boost the video. There would be riots. Not really. No, that's not true. That's actually not true. Because it's recently like, oh man, people love.
In his case, what is wrong with y'all? An innocent 23-year-old who came here as a refugee to get away from violence not only lost her life to a dangerous man.
Arthur Will talk about growing up in gang culture. I would have never guessed Arthur Will. Arthur Will got a prequel trilogy he's hiding, man. I need the script, man.
And but also to a system that failed and
yeah, that's yo, that oh my god, that looks bad. Yeah, that dude. Whew.
Kept letting this dangerous man out. Why are y'all donating money to try to help him? Help him with what? Put Brian in jail and call it a day. Now, you do have a lot of people on social media arguing, stating that some are trying to use this situation to cause, you know, the little online war about this. That
oh yeah, people are using this for clout. Absolutely, most people don't care about. Like I've had to live like dealing with mental illness and stuff with you know, my aunt shit. So I very much understand, you know, the even before stuff like this, like how much energy that literally drains. Dealing with people like that constantly, that drains the life force out of people. Like straight up, it does. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. That makes sense. I get it. So you were adjacent to it with shit. That's close. You close enough to it to get fired, get burnt. He said Maxwell Anderson, a white man, no one knows him, don't know what he looks. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah.
Yo, conservatives love it.
Okay, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Oh, God, they're playing the video. We're playing. Oh.
Why didn't anybody?
Like, this is crazy.
So more footage was just released of Irina Zaretska, the Ukrainian woman who had her life ended on a subway in Charlotte, and it just gets even sadder. This is the footage immediately after she was attacked and stabbed in the neck.
What honestly gets me with the whole situation with
yeah, so what y'all not about to do is use an innocent woman's death to fuel the fucking race war. This the fastest that I've seen Donald Trump respond to anything.
Well, I mean, you could get on here and say what you're not gonna do, but you better get ready. You know, would you thinking you about to get on here and say something that's gonna mean something? They really believe that. What you not gonna do? Yeah, they will.
Usually mind my business, but I'm watching the video.
All right.
Of
a girl.
Oh yeah, this is the video. Like Daniel Penny helped everyone in his life. Who was him? Because somebody helped. Boy, I tell you, everybody in the comments saying people help. Nobody on the train there help. It was when she left the train and collapsed at the next station. By then, she was bleeding out. So, y'all keep saying help. What? So my question is, once she was stabbed, what were they supposed to do? What were they supposed to do? What were they supposed to apply pressure? That may have been something they could have did. And I'm trying to think what she was stabbed with, because I'm thinking so apparently she wasn't gashed out. And I haven't seen the video because I'm not gonna look at stuff like that. So again, like, to be fair, these are civilians. And Daniel Penny was a soldier. So let's be real clear about that. Daniel Penny was a former Marine. So these are civilians. So I'm not justifying them, quote unquote, helping. But once she's stabbed, what are they supposed to do? Like, these are not police officers. Some of these people, what are we talking about? Like, people keep saying that. Like, that y'all really expect men to just activate like agents from the Matrix or something. Like, what is it? Nobody help. Nobody help. Nobody help. What about y'all helping people that's homeless, that's crazy, and getting them up in these mental institutions? What are y'all talking about? I mean, he already, like, dude, the speed at which he did that, even if they would have helped. See, what people forget about the Daniel Penny situation is dude was already running his mouth and making like erratic movements before. He never did anything. Daniel Penny just went after him. Daniel Penny wouldn't have stopped that, even if he would have been right next to her. He could have been sitting right next to her on the same thing, like literally right next to her, and he wouldn't have stopped what he did. Because that's how fast he was. So when people keep saying I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it's just people saying stuff. And again, it's very obvious people are extra emotionally affected because they see this on. Let's just be real. If this is not on video, y'all don't give a fuck. If this was a ticker under the ticker, y'all don't care like this. It could have been, y'all could have showed her picture and stuff because you didn't see it.
Pissed off when I say
well, y'all voted for these women.
Good morning.
The way
Aaron Zaruska, the blonde white girl that was.
I mean, I can't definitively say it wasn't a hate crime. I'll say this is closer than a lot of it is. But you can make a case either way. You definitely could. Oh, you said for mental health? I mean, yeah. I mean, you have to. But they don't care. You let the home, like California is like exhibit A for like homelessness. Yo, these are a lot of like 220 something. Let me see what he got to say.
I just watched a stabbing.
Oh my God, this dude's acting like he about to cry. Come on, man.
This is the reason we need a national 3-strike policy reinstated. This is why places like Abu Dhabi and
No. That's not how. Oh my God, this dude's stupid. We need a national 3-strike. Like, dude, first of all, 3-strike policies, they find ways to not charge their own with them and only charge us. Number two, that's not the thing. The issue is, it's too stupid. And here's another thing. Now, he had 3 felonies, but a lot of these people are not getting hit up with felonies. Most mental ill people are not robbing banks and doing all of that. Keep that in mind. So that went. I'm gonna stop it.
These magistrate judges that are
this dude's usually pretty sensible. I mean, these motherfuckers just get on this app saying anything.
making a decision to release these people without bail, they're
yeah.
They're not even lawyers. They didn't go to law school. They didn't pass the bar. They just got appointed to be
magistrates. Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Judges, no training required. Oh yeah, and that's the case in states like North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Texas, Arizona. They don't even have to be lawyers, but they can be judges. They don't have to go to law school.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Magistrates are different types of judges. So it's not the same thing. So, dude, they're not like over cases and shit. It's not the same thing.
They don't have to pass the bar. However, they sit in judgment over people who did. How the fuck is this a thing? How the fuck do we have judges who didn't even study the law? How did this?
What he's saying is like incorrect. It's not true. Let me see. What is the difference between a magistrate judge and a regular judge in the legal system, particularly in North Carolina? What he's saying is incorrect. So let me see. This is where the BS comes, and I'm gonna kind of wrap this up after this, but okay. So I put, what is the difference between a magistrate judge and a regular judge in the legal system, particularly in North Carolina? Good question. There is an important difference between a magistrate judge and a regular judge. Usually a district superior court judge in North Carolina. Here's the breakdown. Appointment qualifications. Magistrate judge appointed by a senior resident superior court judge of the judicial system. So they are appointed by judges. Does not have to be a lawyer, but must have a 4-year degree, college or equivalent experience. Serves a term, usually 2 to 4 years, depending on the county. Regular judge. District and superior court judges are elected by public and partisan elections. Must be a licensed attorney in several years, several experience. Serve 4 to 8 year terms, depending on the court level. Judiciary and powers. Magistrate handles limited lower level matters such as issuing warrants, setting bonds and bail, hearing small claims court summary, performing marriages, so regular judges have a broad authority over both criminal and civil cases, can preside over trials, can sentence defendants. So it's basically a lot of the admin stuff that you want a judge to have. Judges say, okay, we'll appoint people to do that, and they got to have a college degree, so they're not pulling them off the street. So the mental health thing, when you choose. So when my mom used to go to a magistrate and she had to get my aunt committed, whether it be 90 days or whatever, she had to go to a magistrate. And when she went, and even and keep in mind, and a magistrate would either sign an order and they take a police officer, and police officer would go pick them up. Those are not the same as judges that preside over cases and stuff like that, the major cases. Small claims court is exactly that, small claims court. I think what is the highest amount for small claims court in NC? So, so statewide is 10,000, so 10,000 or less. And you're in Wake County, it's likely 10,000. Yeah, in some counties it's 5. So that's not an accurate representation of what he's saying. I get it, he doesn't know, but ChatGPT is everybody's friend. Use it before you get on here just throwing out BS. And he's usually a very sensible guy. I actually like him. No, so at the end of, so when it comes to determining whether people are mentally ill are going to be committed, stay committed and stuff. And here's another thing, because of the limited resources in a lot of these facilities. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I know Uber drivers. Like, I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of these people, a lot of these facilities, they use Uber drivers to move people around. Like, I got quite a few people that do Uber, and they use third party systems in order to Uber for people to disable, and it always comes up the same. They send me screenshots where it's like, don't put any personal information in there, blah blah blah. It's all this kind of like bot type shit, and yeah, and so you could pick up a mentally ill person. Sometimes it's people that need dialysis. Sometimes it's kids, whatever. It's not always like mental patients, but they'll try to use that, and some of them have canceled it because they'll have people trying to go to Charlotte, just like mentally. I know mentally ill person in there. Give it, and then what they always do when it gives away is they give a whole bunch of legalese, like it's all this like pounds of legalese, like paragraphs of legalese and stuff. Oh, he did? Well, I didn't hear that. I mean, they can do that. But that's political fallout. The reality of the situation is the last thing he was charged for was calling 911. That's what he actually went to jail for. So, like, you're releasing him for what? Like, she technically didn't do anything wrong based on what the norms were. You're not going to sit here and look at everybody's record and say, oh, your record is bad, so we're just going to keep you in jail. When the last thing he was charged, because he served his time for the other stuff, the last thing he was charged for was a 911 thing, which is a low-level misdemeanor. You can't just perpetually keep somebody in jail for that. You can't. I mean, it is what it is. That's why you're supposed to have mental facilities that you can put these people in. But they don't want to fund that because they're tired of getting sued and tired of costing money. The federal feds don't want to fund that, and they incentivize the states to not fund that. And that's on both parties. That's the truth that nobody's talking about. So, I mean, y'all can blame black men all the time, but just understand, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. When they blame black men, they're not interested in solving the problem. That's not what they're interested in. So let me know if y'all like these. Let me know if y'all like these types of videos. Me going through for stuff, because I could definitely do one with the Hyundai thing. Because I actually have a lot more videos already queued up for that. Let me see what you all are saying, and then I'm gonna head out. Yari jumped on Deronimer. Let me see what y'all got to say. Screenshots, that clown, lawmakers. Let me see. They need supporters to focus on something besides what they're doing. Yeah, they're trying to this is 3 strikes law remix. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I mean, and dudes don't understand. You'll be targeted for that. They'll just give white people other charges that gets around the 3 strikes. So that's not gonna solve anything. Yeah. This is why people traditionally didn't get on public transportation. Really hard to. You said you love these kinds of videos. All right, so I'll make sure I try to do more, even if some of them are more recorded, but they're done like this. They'll probably look a little better. Man, I'm telling you right now, don't let her boyfriend be black, because now they can't pull back. Because if they pull back now, I'm surprised they have. I'm gonna tell you something. I used to I won't say normally I dismiss it because you're usually on point, but on this thing, I usually won't want to jump on that. But you notice how her boyfriend ain't said nothing. Usually they would interview the boyfriend, be like, "What do you thought?" Because he's a good character witness on her. Now, obviously, they interviewed the boyfriend, they interviewed the mom. Maybe they can't speak English. This is also really unfortunate because this justifies like a lot of Ukraine's racism. You know, when it comes to black people, Lord knows they're gonna use this. Remember, you know. So, oh Jesus. Yeah. I didn't see a lot of people on that light rail. Honestly, that light rail didn't look like it had a real reason to exist because it's a small light rail, man. It's like, what is this really for, man? And the way it was designed, because I'm like, how am I driving on the rail? I was literally on streets on the rail. I was like, yo, I got to get off of this. I'm not saying I don't know what she does. That's what Yisa said. But what I will say is they haven't said nothing with him, which is interesting. So anyway, y'all, again, if y'all want to get in the Discord, because I'm always in the Discord, like always. Our Discord is you know, we actually got 300 people in the Discord. Some of you all that are in the Discord might have noticed that you all been added as mods. That wasn't by accident. These are people I've seen participate in it, and I know y'all are good because I may release some of the holds. If you are interested in being a mod, obviously people that donate to me will get a priority on that. If you don't donate, it just depends on if I see you in the comment section what your track record is and if I know you. But donating is not required. But obviously, if I know you donate, I know you're committed to my stuff. And not, you know, going to use it for bad if you're already in the Discord. So message me in the Discord if you're already in there. I may release some of the, you know, make it easier for people to get in the Discord. But you know who you are if you have a mod, and that wasn't by mistake. I actually found out how to do all of that. So yeah. Man, honestly, he's smart. He's smart because number one, he would be a target. Number two, he's actually, you know how these people are going to react to her memory. So he's actually being very smart if he is black. I wouldn't recommend that. Not now. I wouldn't recommend that. Oh no, they'll still, because at this point they're too committed now. But anyway, all right, y'all. With that being said, again, appreciate everybody that donated and everything. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.